How are you, everybody? Today we are going to study one of the most important lessons in grammar, which is passive and active voice. Firstly, we are going to study how to change the active voice into passive voice with the present simple tense. We are going to read this example. They grow dates in Saudi Arabia. This statement is active. We want to change it into passive, so it would be dates are grown in Saudi Arabia. This is a passive voice. Now with the past simple form. Muslims ruled Spain. This statement is active. We want to change it into passive. It will be Spain was ruled by Muslims. This statement is passive voice. Thirdly, with the present perfect tense. If the sentence is the government has built modern roads, if we want to change it into passive, it will be modern roads have been built by the government. If the sentence is QPE has developed the postal system, if we want to change it into passive, it will be the postal system has been developed by QPE. Now we would like to know how to change active statements into passive statements. First of all, we have to begin with the object instead of the subject. Secondly, we have to use verb to be at the sentence of the statement. If the sentence is in the present simple form, we have to use verb to be in the present simple form, which is am, is, or are. If the statement in the active voice is in the past simple, we have to use verb to be in the past, which is was or were. If the active statement is in the present perfect, we have to use verb to be in the present perfect, which is have been or has been. If the active statement is in the past perfect, we have to use verb to be in the past perfect, which is had been. Thirdly, we have to use the past participle or the third form of the verb after verb to be. Fourth and the last one, we have to add by, the preposition by, before the subject, which is the doer. It will be the object in the passive form. As we see, now with this activity, activity 1, change these statements into passive voice. Number 1, the salesman sold 5 bikes. First of all, the object will be the subject. Then we have to add verb to be in the past form, or in the past simple we have to add was or were. Here in this case 5 bikes are plural, so we have to use were. 5 bikes were. The past participle of sell is sold, and we have to add by before the salesman. So in the passive voice, the sentence will be 5 bikes were sold by the salesman. Number 2, you're going to try it yourself. Ahmed has broken the window. Do your best to answer it and change it from active into passive. Number 3, Fatma always cleaned the kitchen. 4, Al Ahli team defeated Al Zamalek easily. Number 5, electronic sorters have handled 3,000 liters a week. Secondly, we are going to start a new lesson, which is prefixes. What are prefixes? Prefixes are words or part of words that precede the other words to change their meanings. The prefix l is used before words that start with l. Example, if the word is legible and we want to form the opposite of this word by adding a prefix, we have to add l, which is il. It will be illegible. It means impossible to read because the writing is bad. We use the prefix ir is only used before few words beginning with r. For example, responsible, it will be irresponsible. We use the prefix this before some adjectives, for example, dishonest, and a few verbs, for example, dislike or disagree. Verbs prefixes an and this. With some verbs, these prefixes can also mean the opposite of an action. For example, the plane appeared in the sky, then suddenly disappeared behind a cloud. We have to notice here we used the prefix this to form the opposite form of appear to become disappear. Another example, I locked the door when I left, but I lost the key, so I couldn't unlock it when I got back. So, as we can see, we used the prefix an to form the opposite form of the verb lock. It will be unlock, which means open. I got dressed. I got undressed. We used the prefix an before the verb dress or dressed. I had to pack my suitcase. I had to unpack my suitcase. Thank you very much for your careful attention. See you soon, inshallah, in another lesson. Thank you and goodbye.